What up, what up, what up? It's your boy Roy, accompanied by the one, the only, the Dominican Badman Surge. And we're Combat Sport Guys coming to you with another UFC Macau, China full card analysis, breakdown, predictions, and picks. Before we get into that, how you doing, my man?
Brother, I'm good. Hope you're doing well. We're gonna call it. We're gonna do some predictions, some fight analysis. How you doing?
I'm doing well, and before we get into this, I want to apologize ahead of time for some of the mispronunciation of this card. I know my man Floor Price guy is gonna struggle. I know I'm gonna struggle. It's all right. We'll get through it together. So let's kick off this card. We have a lightweight bout. We have Maheshatse Hayisaer versus Nicholas Motta. Hayisaer is 10-3-0 and is 3-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Gabriel Benitez via split decision. Motta on the other end is 14-5-0 and is 2-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Tom Nolan via TKO KO. What do you got, man? Break it down for me.
Give me 1 second, Jeff. I'll tell you right now. I'm just looking for the cards.
My man's not ready. What's going on over here, brother?
No,
My
one
man was
second.
rushing. My man was rushing me to record, and he's unprepared. What's going on?
Who rushed you? 1 second.
My man. In the meantime, if you haven't done so, please hit a like, a subscribe, drop a comment, follow us. Make sure you hit us up on X at Combat Sport Guys. We finally got monetized after a rough week where we got banned momentarily for making threats. Apparently, if somebody wins via guillotine choke and you state that, you get banned. But it's okay. We bounce back. We're growing that account. Make sure you follow us there.
Yeah.
What's up, man? You ready?
Yeah, I gotta go with Motta on this one, man. I just feel he's kind of I don't know. I just like who he's been training with. His last couple of opponents. My man Machete. We're gonna call him. We're gonna call my guy Machete from China.
Machete, I like that. Let's go.
Machete. I don't know. Maybe he gets the home court advantage. He is the favorite here, but I gotta go with Motta. What about you?
Yeah, Machete, as you like to say, he's a heavy striker. He throws wild punches, but he has some knockouts on his record. But in the UFC, he's 50%. He's 2-2, right? And the 2 wins that he has are a split decision, as we mentioned, and a knockout up against Steve Garcia, which is, Steve Garcia is a good opponent. And he's lost to Rafa Garcia and to Borishev. And both those losses come by way of unanimous decision and KO, TKO. When you look at my man Motta here, he's well-rounded game. He has good striking. He has the ability to finish fights early with his knockout power. He has an aggressive style, and he's willing to exchange. He's not going to be timid to get into the center of the octagon. I'm going to go with him. I like the dog in this fight. I think that he's going to put it on Machete.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Motta as well.
Well, I'll go.
Cool. Yeah, and it can go either way, but I think if Motta is able to close the distance and maintain the pace and get in the pocket, he can pull out a victory. So we'll see. Next up, we have a bantamweight bout. We have Long Xiao versus Quang Li. Xiao is 26-9-0 and is 4-5 in their last 5 bouts, last losing to Chang Ho Li via split decision. Li is 8-1-0 and is 4-5 in their last 5, last losing to Chris Gutierrez via unanimous decision. When you look at Long, he's known for his aggressive forward-moving style. He has a reputation for high-volume striking, and he has a decent wrestling game. Whereas Quang Li, he has a technical striking, solid striking, good movement, has a good background in grappling, and has decent Brazilian jiu-jitsu. When it comes to this fight, I think Li, if he can utilize his technical striking and grappling to control the pace and location of the fight, he could win by decision. I just think, if you look at Xiao, he isn't the best at making decisions, and he often makes horrible decisions, right? He often makes horrible decisions in his fight that cost him the fight. He doesn't capitalize on significant moments. And I think if Lee is able to expose that, he can pull out a victory here. So I'm going to go with the dog as well, Quang Lee.
Yeah, and I mean, I gotta go with Lee as well. Lee is a low favorite. I just like him overall better than Xiao. Um, but yeah, I mean, I just think he's a little bit going to be a little bit more prepared. I think Lee has been thrown to the dogs. Like Chris Gutierrez is no joke. Let's be honest with you. Lee has been training outside of China as well. So I don't know much about Xiao, but I know that Lee has been a little bit more prepared. So just based on that experience, I'll say iron sharpens iron, and I expect him, especially at those odds, they're very good odds for Lee. So I'm taking Lee off the bat.
Okay. Next up, we have a men's flyweight bout. Loner Kavanagh up against Jose Ochoa. Kavanagh is 7-0 and is 5-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Antoine Ho via TKO. Whereas Ochoa as well is 7-0 and is 4-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Juscelino Pantoja via submission. Both these guys are undefeated coming into this fight. One of them's coming off of the Contender Series. Who do you got and why?
I think Kavanagh is a promising prospect here. I think and crazy, right? 3-1 underdog, close to 4-1 underdog. My man Jose, that minus 395. You know, I like my guy. I like they put him in his nationality in China. Really, they did that?
He's Peru. Oh, Loner Kavanagh.
Yeah.
I think he lives over there. He's England. He's English, but I think he lives in China.
My man.
I don't know.
Interesting.
Weird.
Yeah, it's very weird. I think that might be a typo because it says Great Britain top team. I got to say, I'm just very impressed with what I've seen from Kavanagh. So I will go with Kavanagh. I don't think this justifies a 4-1 favorite, but I wish him the best. I mean, Jose, let's see what he's made of. Let's see if my man can get mean. But 4-1, not so much. I think give him a 2-1 favorite at his best.
Yeah. And Jose Ochoa has finished all his fights. I don't think he's gone to a decision. The majority of his fights come via TKO, KO, or submission. He has good striking and grappling, but he's up against somebody who just came off of the Contender Series. He has a great striking. He has a really nice left hook, and he's an aggressive fighter that likes to push the pace. So I think Loner Kavanagh is going to edge this one out. He's going to give Ochoa his first what do you call it? Churro, right? Like Max Holloway likes to say, he's going to get a churro on his record. So Loner Kavanagh is the pick. We'll move on to Carlos Hernandez up against, Niam Jargah Tumendemberel. Hernandez is 9-4-0 and is 2-5 in their last 5 bouts. 1 second.
I'm gonna call this guy Tumendemberel. You know what? Yeah. I'm excited to hear how the announcer is gonna say this guy's name.
Yeah, Hernandez last lost to Ray Tsura via unanimous decision. Tumendemberel is 8-0 and is 5-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Peter Dainso via submission. What you got for this one, man?
There's something about, the art of the knockout. That's a bad man right there. Also, Mongolia, we don't get that many fighters from there. Studying their opponents, like, let's be honest with you, champ. The reason why Carlos Hernandez fought Ray 4 months ago, I remember that fight pretty well. I mean, look, the experience factor goes into Hernandez, but there's something about the water and the art of the knockout that I like. I mean, there's certain undefeated individuals tend to be a little bit more risk-taking. I think, showing up to the UFC, he's going to try to make a statement. He doesn't know what a loss is, so there's no danger there. So I'm going to have to go with the art of the knockout.
Well, also, too, it's a step up in competition, right? And that's no, slight at Tumendemberel. He looks to finish fights. He looks to knock out opponents. He's an aggressive fighter. He likes to push the pressure. And like you said, he has a background in Mongolian wrestling, right? That adds a dimension to his game. But he's going up against somebody that's a step up in competition. He has the experience. Hernandez is known for his technical striking and his work ethic. He likes to get in there. He likes to work you for those 3 rounds. He's got a strong wrestling background, which he can use to control opponents on the ground. He has great endurance, and he maintains a high pace throughout his fight. And he has, like I said, he has the experience in the UFC. He how many fights does he have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see how many fights my guy has.
As a couple.
Yeah, look, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He has 7 fights in the UFC, and this is essentially Tumendemberel's UFC debut, right? So I think I'm gonna give it to Hernandez as the favorite. I think he's gonna be too much. It's gonna be too big of a step up in competition. He's gonna put the pace on him. He's gonna utilize his striking and his wrestling to take him down. So I'm gonna go with Hernandez. I know we're on opposing ends here, but we'll see what happens, man.
Yes, sir.
What's going on right here?
Nah, brother, we got the tournament over here. Go back. We got the tournament,
Oh, we got
brother.
the tournament. Okay.
Yeah, we got
Next up, we have.
the road to Japan. 135,
I see.
125 versus 115 pounders, brother. My man said, "Yo, where's the thing for these? They
All
don't
right.
have
They don't have it on for this one.
for this one."
Next time we have Zhang, Xiao Con Fang. Next up, we have Xiao Con Fang versus Ming Shi. Fang is 10-2-0 and is 5-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Miki Motono via unanimous decision. Shi is 16-5-0 and is 4-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Huaxiang Dong via split decision. I'm gonna go with Fang here. I think she's gonna utilize her speed and her striking technique to outstrike Shi. She's gonna keep the fight at a distance, utilize her kicks to keep her at range and kind of land the more significant strike. If she can avoid being taken down and utilize her takedown defense, she can control this fight. And I think she's gonna pull out a victory. Who
I
you
think she
got?
got one too. I think she's the more rounded fighter, the more experienced fighter. I think she gets it done.
Yeah, and then no slight at She. I think she has, she's good with the striking and the grappling. She's known for being aggressive and pushing forward, mixing in combinations and shooting for takedowns if she needs them. But I think the key to this is Fang is able to kind of keep her at bay and utilize her takedown defense to avoid being taken down. She can pull out a decision win. So Xiao Kan Fang is the pick. Next up, we have a flyweight bout. Kiru Sahota versus Dong Hun Choi. Sahota is 12-2-0 and is 4-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Raul Panales via unanimous decision. Choi is 8-0 and is 5-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Angar Bisht via split decision. Who you got here, my man? Let me hear you break it down. Break it down. Break it down.
Listen, I'm gonna have to go with Choi here. I think Choi is the pick. There's something about Choi that, yeah, I just like Choi better. I like the topology rankings where it kind of shows you where each fighter kind of like where they rank, and it's interesting because they're both around number 6, but one of them is the UK, Ireland, the other one in flyweight. Yeah, I got Choi. I just like I said, there's something about an undefeated fighter kind of stepping in, and that's maybe that's not the case, and that's fine. But champ, notice how they put it ranked number 6, about number 6. Who do you got, champ?
Yeah, I think there's a notable height difference here. Shahota is 5 inches taller than Choi, and he has a 7-inch advantage over him, right? So if he's able to utilize his striking, keep him at range, utilize his reach to set up his jabs, his combinations, and kind of, limit Choi's momentum and his pressure, he can pull out a victory. He has a background in kickboxing and Muay Thai. But when you look at Choi, he's aggressive. He likes to move forward. He has a reputation for throwing with high volume. He has a background in sambo and judo, and he's able to utilize the clinch game and get you up against the fence, hit you in the clinch, and then take you down to the ground. He has the forward pressure movement. I think he's gonna look to overwhelm Shahota, get in the pocket, right? Hit him with the combinations, get him in the clinch, put him up against the fence, kind of slow down the time, keep this fight at his pace. I'm gonna go with Dong Hun Choi, despite the height advantage. I think he's gonna get into the pocket. He's gonna get in the clinch and make him uncomfortable. So Dong Hun Choi is the pick. Cool. We'll move on. Next up, we have Su Young Yu versus Balgan Jensuli. How would you say that?
Yeah, Genesuli.
Genesuli. All
Genesuli.
right. Yeah, we got Young Yu is 13-3-0 and is 3-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Darius Misi Xiao via split decision. I apologize for that pronunciation. That was horrible. Genesuli is 19-5-0, last beating Tokitaka Nakanishi via unanimous decision. I think I'm going to go with suspension.
Genesuli.
Suspense. I said suspension. What an idiot. Suspense.
It's okay.
I'm gonna go with Genesuli here. I think Genesuli is a seasoned fighter with a strong background in kickboxing and Muay Thai. He's not afraid to exchange. He has the ability to finish fights on the ground, standing up or on the ground. He could take it to decision. He has good takedown defense. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Genesuli. I like him in this matchup. Who do you got?
Well, I got Genesuli too, and he is the underdog in this fight. It's close. Yeah. It's a but like a plus 116 too. Yeah, I just think he gets it done. I just like I said, like I'm with these sort of cards, I tend to lean more on fighters that are undefeated, and then where they're from based on experience as well. I think his experience will get the job done against you.
And he's also, you got one thing you got to consider too is the home crowd buffer, right? They are in China. A lot of these Chinese fighters, if it goes to the decision, how are they going to score these cards, right? Is it going to be favorable in the home side? Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, I think, when you look at Young Yu, he has a background in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's a black belt. He is primarily known for a grappler. His striking isn't the best, but can utilize his striking to set up his takedowns. But I think this fight comes down to the striking. I think Genesuli is going to be able to piece him up, land the more significant strikes, and then go down to the ground if needed. And if it does go down on the ground, he's going to be able to defend himself and limit the takedowns from Young Yu. So I think that's going to win him the fight. So Balgan is the pick. We'll move on to a men's light heavyweight bout. And I believe this is the first fight on the main card, right? Yes, this kicks off the main card. So we have Aussie Diaz up against Ming Yang Zhang. Diaz is 9-2-0 and is 4-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Bevan Lewis via KO. Zhang is 17-6-0 and is 5-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Bretzen Ribero via KO. For me, I believe that this fight can go either way. It's a pick 'em, with Diaz being an aggressive fighter with a background in wrestling. He can take the fights to the ground. He can set up his combinations well and then utilize the takedown. He has tenacity and he's willing to engage. He doesn't care. Even if he's going up against an opponent who can outstrike him, he still will exchange in the striking game strong. But you look at Zhang, he's aggressive. He looks to end fights with a big shot. He's a one-hitter knockout puncher. He has good background, with the Chinese kickboxing. He looks to end his fight early. He looks to end his fights early. I'm going to go with Ming Yang Zhang. I think his power is going to be a little bit too much for Diaz. He's going to pull out the victory here. Who you got, my man?
I mean, I think Zhang comes in with the with the power here and strength, because I was going to say Aussie has a very good camp behind him, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have to go with Zhang, but I'm trying to think King's MMA, my boy's going to come in striking, and Zhang has power. Like this kid is no joke. So I think Zhang gets it done. I like his win against Ribeiro. Ribeiro just fought last card against that.
I think. Didn't he get cut? I think he got cut. Yeah.
No, Ribeiro. No, Ribeiro didn't get cut.
Yeah, he should have, but yeah.
No, my man. Listen, it's the other cat that got cut. He was like three fights. I think he lost 3 in a row. But I'll go with Zhang with the Mountain Tiger. I think he gets it done. If Aussie Diaz comes in with a strategic plan of let me grapple, let me wrestle, let me switch it up, I think there's a shot. But he has to switch it up against Zhang.
Yeah, and there is a height advantage that Diaz has, but the reach remains the same, right? So they both have the same reach despite having the 2-inch height advantage. But I think Zhang just outpowers him. I think he's gonna find the chin, he's gonna find the striking game to be in his favor, and he's gonna pull out the victory here. Next up, we have a men's light heavyweight bout. Once again, we have Volkan Oezdemier up against Carlos Ulberg. Oezdemier is 27-0 and is 3-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating the GOAT in Johnny Walker via KO. Ulberg is 1-0 and is 5-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Alonzo Menifield via KO. This is an important fight for the division because Ulberg does stand at number 10, whereas Oezdemier is at number 8 in the light heavyweight rankings. If Ulberg does pull out a victory here, it puts him further into the top 10 and kind of, it'd be interesting to see the matchup they give him, right? We can talk about that after the breakdown here. I think Oezdemier is known for his knockout power. He has a nice left hook. He's aggressive. He moves forward. His background in kickboxing, gives him an edge to utilize his kicks. And he does have the better striking technique in my opinion for this fight. But when you look at Ulberg, he has all the momentum right now. He also has a kickboxing background. He's kind of flashy. He has an unorthodox style. He likes to utilize the spinning attack and high kicks. He has been on a winning streak. I think he is. Let's see, how many fights has he won?
He's won a couple in a row. I mean, his last loss, his only loss to the UFC was against my boy that knocked out the GOAT.
Kennedy in Zuchuku.
Yeah. Kennedy.
Yeah, his last loss was in 2021, so he hasn't lost in 3 years almost. So I think he has all the momentum on his side. He looks to, finish fights in various ways, knockouts or submissions. I think he has a better tool set here to pull out a victory, and he has the momentum on his side, right? He is currently 34 years old, going up against a 35-year-old. He has the 2-inch height advantage, the 2-inch reach advantage. I think Carlos Ulberg pulls out the victory here. I think he can possibly knock him out. I don't know. I got to see the odds for that. But yeah, I'm going to go with Ulberg.
Volkan fought for the belt back in the day against Daniel Cormier. And I mean, look, there's a couple different things. Volkan is known for his power and striking. That has kind of declined a little bit with time. It's just it is what it is. But in his last kind of 2 fights, he's looked very good. Ulberg, I mean, I like Ulberg. I like the city kickboxing. I think, he played with fire a little bit too much against Kennedy. Kennedy has FU power, and it's insane. But I'll say this. I'm going to go with Ulberg by a low. This fight is closer. This guy is like a 2.5 favorite. I think this fight should be even odds going into this fight, especially with the experience Volkan Oezdemier has and the finishes he's had. And I mean, look, the only bad thing about this fight, champ, is that they're not giving it love. This fight should be the co-main event. This fight needs to be showcased because one of these guys, especially
this could be a fight night. This could be a fight night main event, I think.
Yeah, well, this should be a fight now, which is interesting because you want to kind of prepare. You want to put a stepping stone to the winner of this fight so they can have a next bout, and then potentially they can fight Pereira. So I think it's a big fumble. I don't understand logistically why, but should have been the co-main event, third fight. Give them a little bit more spotlight. That could change on even the time, champ. Even the time. You want to introduce these cats. You want to put them in front of the American and European. It's just what it is. I mean, we'll see how the turnout is in Macau, but we'll go from there.
Yeah, and I think if this fight progresses and goes past the first round, Carlos Ulberg will have better cardio, and he'll be able to push the pace a lot more and get into Oezdemir's face, and kind of make him uncomfortable. If Ulberg does win, I think, he'll take the number 8 spot in the rankings, and there's a lot of potential matchups you can make. You can make the Khalil Roundtree matchup. That's good, striker versus striker. You can make the Rakic matchup, the Jan Blachowicz matchup. So there's a lot of matchups you can make for him. So I think it'll be good for the division. Next up, we have a women's flyweight bout. We have the Joker, Wang, who is 6-0 and is 5-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Victoria Leonardo via KO. Fernandes is 9-3-0 and is 3-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Carly Judice via split decision. Do you remember when Wang had her debut? I feel like that fight was not long ago. I feel like we just watched it.
Yeah,
it wasn't a while ago. It was like a couple months ago.
No, 3 months.
2 months ago. It was 2 months ago.
Yeah,
yes, I remember that fight. She's primarily known for her striking prowess. She had a knockout in her UFC debut, as we just mentioned. She has a background in kickboxing. She's powerful and precise. She has the ability to finish fights early. She's going up against Fernandes, who's, she's a Brazilian fighter. She's well-rounded. She's known for her grappling, particularly in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. She has some submission victories under her belt, but I think Wang has a lot of momentum on her side, and the odds reflect that. She's a 6-1 favorite. I think she's going to keep that momentum. She's going to pull out a victory. She's going to outstrike Fernandes and possibly knock her out.
And I mean, look, let's not dismiss why this Miss Wang is the boogeyman of that flyweight division. She beat Valentina Shevchenko back in 2015.
Oh, and they love to say that. They love to bring that up.
They love to pump that up, but that's the reason why. It's just you add that and that kind of the way she finished that girl was. She has very unique striking ability. Like I think her striking is more polished than Valentina Shevchenko.
Yeah.
Against Gabrielle, man, it's going to be a tough one, man. It really. I mean, look, Fernandes has good. Let's see her takedown ability. Like she is known to submit her opponents.
Yeah,
it's all going to round up into can she take Wang down and can she submit her, and also if it goes past the first, does she have the gas tank? I believe in this instance, you got to give it to Wang. Wang takes it. I think Wang will have the conditioning to even if Fernandes takes her down, she'll be able to kind of withstand. Hopefully, she defends correctly if that happens. But I give it to Wang, medium.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Wang as well, and she's gonna be a good parlay piece to put in. And speaking of the bets and parlays, if you follow us on X, we do put that out later on in the week. So Thursday or Friday, make sure you're following us. Turn on the notifications. We do put out our bets. We don't charge anything. We put them out there for free. You can tell them, you can look at them, you consider them, you can bait them, you can tell them, and potentially make some money. Last week we had a couple bets and parlays that hit, and some people enjoy those. And we'll keep it moving here to our co-main event. Oh no, not our co-main event. We have one more fight. My fault. We have Kanan Song, the assassin, up against Muslim Salikhov. Now, Kanan Song is 22-8-0 and is 2-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Ricky Glenn via unanimous decision. Salikhov is 25-0 and is 2-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Santiago Ponzinibbio via split decision. Who do you got in this fight, man? Break it down for me.
I gotta go. I like Muslim. Muslim is the pick for me. I mean, look, Kennan's good. I think there's a loss there to Ian Gary, if I'm not mistaken. Am I mistaken? Let me just kind of go back.
Yeah, do you think?
Let me actually analyze this. But I just like Salikhov. I mean, look, if we look at the age difference, yeah, my man's hitting 40, but the reality is, yeah. So sorry, going back into Song, he does have a loss to Ian Gary. I mean, there's no jab or anything. It's just who's faced a tougher opposition in here. It really is a flip of a coin, to be honest with you. Both fighters are coming off one win. I just like Savilov better. I think Savilov gets it done. He's going to try to go for the kill. You got to give the home court advantage to Song, and we'll see how these boys dance.
Yeah, I think Muslim. He's a good technical and versatile striker. He's known for his striking defense, right? He has good striking defense, and he has the ability to counter strike. And I think, up against Song, who likes to move forward, utilize his striking and his wrestling, I think he's going to be able to catch him, counter strike with him, capitalize on his lack of defense. And yeah, I'm going to go with Salikhov here. He is older, so that is a concern. How does a 40-year-old Salikhov look, right, at this stage in his career? We'll see. But I'm going to go with Muslim. I'm not going to bet on this fight, but he is going to be the pick.
This fight is going to, I'm putting in my guy in a parlay, so I think he gets it done.
Didn't get it done? All right. We'll move on to our co-main event, to Xiao Yan, women's strawweight bout up against Baby Shark Tabitha Ricci. Yang is 18-4-0 and is 2-5 in their last 5 bouts, last losing to Wei Li Zhang via unanimous decision. Ricci is 11-2-0 and is 4-5 in their last five bouts, last beating Angela Hill via unanimous decision. Jan is the moderate favorite at minus 205, whereas Ricci is the underdog at a plus 170. This fight, what it comes down to really is the striking, right? Jan's striking prowess is what has everybody uh, picking her, right? She's at home court advantage in China. She has the better striking. She's precise. She has power. She throws with volume. She has the ability to land significant strikes. And she has the record for finishing fights, right? She has her last, let's see, what was her last knockout win? Jessica Andrade, right? A lot of people like to talk about the Jessica Andrade KO knockout, and then the Mackenzie Dern, the unanimous decision victory. You know, you look at Ricci on the other end here. She has the pace. She has the cardio. She's a well-rounded fighter with a strong grappling background. She's effective with her takedowns and has a high takedown defense rate. Her ground game is strong. She has several wins via submission. I think the thing to note here is Jan's takedown defense isn't the best, right? She is able to be taken down. So I think this fight is 3 rounds, if I'm not mistaken. I think in a 3-round fight, Tabitha Ricci as a dog could pull it out. I'm going to go with Tabitha Ricci for a low. I think her path to victory kind of involves her closing the distance, avoiding getting hit by the significant strikes, and taking Jan down. Once on the ground, she could utilize her grappling to control the fight and, particularly look for a submission. If you look at the fight against uh, Wei Li Zhang, Yan was taken down a lot. She was put in positions where she could have been finished on the ground. She could have been submitted. But yeah, I think Tabitha Ricci, she just has the pace, has the cardio. She's going to be getting in her face, and she's not going to allow her to, out to really utilize her striking prowess. She's going to take her down, take away that ability. Yeah, I'm going to go with Tabitha Ricci for the dog to win this fight.
Yeah, I got to go with Ricci too. I mean, look, there's a couple different things. I didn't know that she was dating. She was dating a boxer signed by Callum Wilson, if I'm not mistaken. That's the Tabitha Ricci making the headlines, my girl. I mean, look, Tabitha has what it takes to bring it up. Jan is a very good fighter. I mean, look, she last contended for the belt UFC 300.
Yep.
And Wei Li just took it over the decision. I think she's back in the in the motherland. Knows that she needs to kind of put a statement, but like I said before, like I think Ricci gets it done. I mean, this fight is actually closer to even odds. It's going to be interesting to see how Yan reacts out of this, and yeah, we'll go from there.
Yeah, we'll go from there. And I think, given the height difference, Yang is 5'5". Is she going to be too big for, Tabitha to take down? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens, right? We'll see how the judges, if this goes to a decision, we'll see what the judges are looking for. We'll see how the cards are scored early on in the night, right? Because you never know sometimes with these judges, especially when it's fought in another country. It's always up in the air. So next up, we have 2 former champs in Peter Yan, the former bantamweight champ, up against the former flyweight champ, Deiveson Figueiredo, the God of War, in the main event. Yan is 17-5-0 and is 2-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Yadong Song via unanimous decision. Figgy is 24-3-1 and is 4-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Chito Vera via unanimous decision. Since coming up to bantamweight, Figueiredo is 3-0. He has wins over Rob Font, Cody Garbrandt, and Chito Vera. He's looked good. He's looked stronger. He's on a 3-fight win streak in this division. He's going up against Peter Yan, who he's 3. Let's see. I wrote this up the other day on Twitter. His last 3 losses are to all champs. He last lost to Merab Dvalishvili, who is the current champ. Before that, he lost to Sean O'Malley via split decision, who's the former bantamweight champ. And then prior to that, he lost to Aljamain Sterling, who was the prior champ as well. So impressive record. His losses reflect that. And if you look at, Figueiredo, he only has 2 losses in the UFC, both coming from former flyweight champ Brandon Moreno, right? So this is actually a really good fight. And it's weird that the odds are so far. Like I can see why, but I don't really agree with it. Before I get into who I'm picking, I want to hear who you got and why.
I mean, look, I'm gonna have to side with Jan here. I think Jan is the more dangerous fighter here. Um, Figgy's looked very good. I mean, I was just checking out the Cheeto Vera fight today just to kind of get a little bit of a, you know, clarity of where he's at. And obviously, the wrestling advantage was there for Figgy. Figgy is no, but Cheeto's always suffered from that, right? Cheeto's always a soul starter. Um,
So is
and
Jan. Jan gives up the first round.
yeah, he gives it up, but I think Jan will take this fight. There's a lot of variables why, but I
Yeah.
think if you ask me who's faced better opposition, I have to say Jan. I have to say Figgy's most most toughest opponent was Brandon Moreno. He looks amazing at flyweight, but I don't think Brandon Moreno cuts it at bantamweight. He's staying in that division for a reason. Now you got it's gonna be interesting because Figgy brings the power, and Jan brings power and brings like a very crisp striking ability. The movement advantage will go to Figgy, but man, I got to tell you, like this screams Jan from everywhere. Corey Sandhagen, which is one of the best, um, has the best one of the best footwear in the UFC. Um, he was able to cut. He was able to get like cut. What do you call it? Oh my god, I just mentioned his name. Corey Sandhagen's movement. So Figgy does have very good movement. He has shown improvability. He's not cutting as much weight anymore, but I still got to side with Jan.
Yeah, I think Jan, he is the better striker. He has technical striking with the boxing background. He has high output. He has great movement, as you mentioned. Uh, throws
Oh,
powerful combinations. He has a wrestling background as well and has one of the best takedown defense, right? And one of the things we've seen from Figueiredo as he's moved up in weight is he's utilized his wrestling a lot more, right? You mentioned the power. He has the powerful right hand. He knocked down Chito Vera in the third round. If you saw, that's
yeah.
considered a knockdown. A lot of people say that's not a knockdown, but he did knock him down, and that's the first time in a career that Chito's ever been knocked down. So I think this fight, like you said, is a lot of variables how it can go. It is a 5 round fight. The thing that's concerning to me is Figgy's cardio, right? How is he going to look going 5 rounds at this new weight class, right? He does have the championship experience. He knows what it needs to take to go 5 rounds. How's his cardio going to look? That's the main thing that's going to be my concern. If he's able to pace himself, not search for the knockout in early rounds, he, in my opinion, can work up against Jan. Now, the other thing is Jan's takedown defense. Is Figgy going to be able to take him down, given that he's utilizing his wrestling? You say no, but we don't know, right? You want to
Yeah.
make a bet? If he takes him down once, we can make a bet.
Oh, because anything is possible in a fight. Now, I think Jan has one of the greatest takedown
Yeah,
defenses
he does
there is.
one of the greatest takedown defense. And the reason why he lost to Aljamain and Marab is because they're elite wrestlers. They're elite wrestlers. They took him down. They're relentless in their pursuit for takedowns, right? So they were able
But
to do that.
yeah, and I mean the first fight showed a lot about Jan. Now the second
Mhm.
fight, he was able to take him down a little bit more, a couple of
Yeah.
scrambles, a couple of different things. But Aljamain Sterling is massive.
Yeah.
Sterling, not Sterling, sorry. So Aljo is massive. Morab is just that guy weaponizes cardio, gets you tired. Like the best thing Marab has, he's able to match your cardio and then exceed it. And then, okay,
Yeah.
you're going to strike. I'm going to strike higher than you. So I'm going to make you
Yeah.
work harder. I don't think Figgy possesses that. I think Figgy is one of these fighters that he's very good at what he does, but he has to be very careful how he administers his energy in the octagon.
Yeah, and I think, watching the Chito Vera fight, one of the things he did really well was utilizing the calf kick. He was attacking the legs of Vera. And I think in this fight, Jan likes to utilize his distance management. And I think if Figueiredo's able to pace himself, not start off strong and gas himself and utilize the leg kicks, and then later on incorporate, you know, the wrestling and look for the takedown and hopefully secure some of the takedowns, I think he could steal a couple rounds. I like his momentum right now at bantamweight. I like the way he looks. He's stronger. He looks bigger. The only thing I'm concerned about is the cardio. How is he going to look when it goes to the third round, like the ending of the third round, the fourth round, the fifth round? That's what I'm concerned about. Everybody is picking Jan. I'm going to go with the dog here. I'm going to go with Figueiredo to pull out a victory. I like him at this weight class, man. I don't know. I like him. Something tells me, the way these cards have been going, anything's possible, man. Anything's possible. And this is an interesting fight for the division, right? You have Davis and Figueiredo, who's ranked at number 5, whereas Peter Yan's ranked at number 3. So we'll see what happens, right? And whoever wins this fight, is essentially next in line for a title shot before Umar gets his shot.
Yeah, they won away. Well, no, Umar's not getting the shot. A Sean O'Malley rematch is Dana White privilege has been invoked. And it's gonna be
Merab got a taste for that championship money, man. He's like, I'm not gonna give it up right away. I'm gonna give O'Malley another shot, and then Umar, do your thing.
Yeah,
do you think this side note, do you think Merab would ever drop down to flyweight, or he's too big?
I think he's too big.
Think he's too big?
I think who was it? I mean, it's the same as Michael Chandler, right? Like,
yeah,
because they have similar bodies, but they just cut a little more. Like Chandler can't make weight. I'm like, brother, stop, lose a little bit of muscle, my boy. Start, a little bit more cardio, build up that cortisol, lose that muscle, reduce your eating. But Merab doesn't have that problem. I think that's the beauty about Merab. And you know who I think could go to go down a division? I actually think Peter Yan could be a wrecking machine at that weight, at flyweight.
Peter Yan? You think he can go down or go up? I think he can go up.
I think he can go down. Like similar to what do you call it, to Figueiredo, because Figgy was killing himself on those fights, right? So I think Yan, we're gonna kind of see the side by side comparison, but I'm going with Yan. Like nothing but love to the champ. But again, if Figgy wins this weekend, holy shit! Like,
do you think if he wins, they feed him to Umar? That'll be Umar's next fight?
No.
Do you think the winner of this would be Umar?
No, I would respect if I'm Peter Yan, yes. But if Peter Yan defeats Figgy, give him Umar. I hope that. Oh man, that would be a great fight.
That would be a great fight.
If Figgy wins, give him the pass. Give him the pass and give him Corey Sandhagen, number 1 contender fight. It's just, I mean, you don't. Let's be honest with you here, Tim. I don't want to destroy a contender, and Yan is still building himself up. But if Figgy wins this fight, it's 4-4, and then with a former champion under his belt.
And Yan is young. He's 31 years young. He has a lot of fight in him still. So I'm interested to see how this fight goes. I want to see Figueiredo's game plan. That's going to tell me a lot. Like after the first round, second round, I'll be able to kind of distinguish, okay, this is going to be either long rev, or it's going to be good. We'll see. And you know me, I'm always hitting you up during these fights. I'm always like, what's going on?
Well,
it is what it is.
And I can tell you something. What I could see happen in this fight is Figgy uses a little bit more energy than he should in the first and second round, and Yan takes over on the third. There's a probability that happens, and that's why a lot of people are kind of suggesting put him 3.5 to kind of win. So I think this fight goes past 3.5.
Yeah. If this was a 3-round fight, I think the odds would be a lot different. I think Figueiredo would be more closer to even. This fight would be a lot even. But 5 rounds, a lot of people are criticizing his cardio, right, and his endurance. So if you want to make a safe bet, this is a tough fight to bet. I'm not going to go money line here. I'm probably going to go over 2.5 rounds, over 3.5 rounds. So, like as you mentioned, right? So
what's the odds of that? Like,
let's see if they dropped. Let's see.
So that's a very interesting. Let's see if Bulldog has it. Shout out to Bulldog.
Sometimes these like the app that I use for sports books, it drops late in the week, like on Friday, and it's really annoying. I wish it dropped sooner, but I have another app here. I have DraftKings here. Let's see.
What's happening? The boys getting lazy. That's what's happening. But listen, Peter Yan dropping is already at a 310 right now, eh?
Yeah, it's because they're watching this. No, I'm just kidding. Kidding.
Oh, they're watching this.
Round and method of victory. So No, they don't have the. Uh, let me look
Yeah,
at
it
the other.
says here over. So minus 275 over 3.5. I think that's a good bet. Under is plus 200. It's a little bit too risky. Well, it's not that risky. I mean, things could happen in that fight. Um,
So listen, the fight to go to the distance, the odds are minus 150 for yes, and then no is a plus 120. So people are predicting that this fight is going to go the distance, and I only have the over 4.5 rounds. So it's a minus 175 if it goes over 4.5 rounds, which is not bad.
uh,
Not
yeah, I
bad at
mean,
all.
look, if you want to try to pick up one of these guys, maybe that's what it is. A minus 165. I mean, I don't see Figgy in that division hasn't really he knocked down Cheeto, but he didn't really hurt him. We'll see, man. Maybe this is the one that puts him in the crosshair, right?
Yeah, we'll see. And like I said, it's two former champs. Peter Yan was the champ in the division in the weight class that they're fighting in. He does have the advantage. He does have the striking and the takedown ability to prevent Chito from kind of utilizing his strengths, right? From utilizing the wrestling, utilizing the submission. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be a very good fight, in my opinion. It's going to be a very good fight. I'm excited and I can't wait. But, I'm going to go with the dog here. Before we dip out, and end this, who's your most confident pick on this card?
Oh, this
This is something.
card.
This is something I'm gonna start asking you.
I have to go with Wang, the Joker.
Okay. So I was gonna choose Wang, but just for the sake of being different, I'm gonna go with Loner Kavanagh. I think Loner Kavanagh is gonna pull out a victory. I think he's gonna impress.
That high, yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you guys all for tapping in, for tuning in. We are Combat Sport, guys. Make sure you follow us, hit the like, hit the subscribe. We're here every week with the breakdown, analysis, predictions, opinions, and then we have our full card reactions that we drop on Sunday. I'm Roy, accompanied by the one, the only floor price guy. Any parting words, my man?
Brother, take us home, brother. We got to go to bed now. 6 a.m. card, 3 a.m. your time, 6 a.m. my time.
You're gonna prep on Wednesday? Is the card's not until like 4 days? Relax, my
No,
man.
I'm just trying to say it's going to be a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah, it
We'll
is
see.
going to be a little bit of challenge. We will be, despite that challenge, we will be live on X. I think we will be live on X, dropping those round by round analysis, those immediate fight recaps. People love those. So make sure that you're tapped in. Follow us on X. We are growing that account. I'm extremely happy with the progress we've made. Make sure you hit us up. Love what you love. Do what you do. We're out. Peace.